So today we're going to talk about some 5 key takeaways for successful website design and maintenance. Um, and so you'll see here it's Wes Heimer, who's not with us today, our vice president, and myself, Kyle McCourt, the director of web platform and support. And though we work for TracTru, today we're kind of taking off our TracTru hats, and we just want to talk to Kubota dealers as a whole. So if you don't have a website with us, these are still really great tips to have a very successful website. So why did we make guidelines for this? We want this to be sort of a roadmap for your website. So you have specific goals you're trying to reach with your website, and so does Kubota. And so we want to make these guidelines so that all of us kind of reach those goals together. Because at the end of the day, what we want to do is move metal, right? We want to sell more and more machines. So that's why we put these in place. And I will say that these guidelines are available now on Kubota Brand Builder, and they're also available. They'll be available after this call. We'll send them out to everybody. So you'll have a copy in your email inbox as well as Kubota Brand Builder. So let's talk about the 5 key takeaways for these guidelines. We didn't want to just read guidelines to you. We want to just kind of make it a really simple list for what you need to do to make sure your website's up to par. The way that we put these together is by collecting tons and tons of data for all of the different websites we have on the Kubota digital website platform. So that's over 200 websites representing over 270 dealers and specific locations. And we're taking the data from that, we're taking screen recordings and heat maps we've made and finding what works best, what gets those leads from your site and gets customers in the door. So let's start with mobile first design. With our websites, 50% of web traffic comes from a mobile device. So that's where people are starting their journey when they look up your dealership, or that's where they're ending up. Maybe they started on a desktop, but they're ultimately going to look you up on their phone. This is going to keep growing by at least 2% in 2020. So mobile will be the definitive device that people find your website. So there's a couple of things that you need to have on your website to make it easy for people to contact you. So what you're seeing here are all of the elements that we wanted to point out for a fantastic mobile first design. So you've got a responsive navigation that goes from being words at the top of your screen down to what's called a hamburger menu. So people can click that and it opens up the navigation and it's easy to read on mobile. You want to have a search bar so people can type in what they're looking for right away and not have to dig through pages and pages to do that. You want to have specific calls to action. So what are people doing? What are they trying to accomplish when they get to your website? Are they looking for used equipment? Are they looking for current offers that you have and incentives on your equipment? Are they looking for a new Kubota BX80? You want to put calls to action here to kind of filter people into those types of actions. You also want to have a couple of your current offers above the fold, which is an old newspaper term, meaning basically when the page loads, you want people to be able to see those current special offers right there to kind of entice them to act now. Have a frame of reference for when they need to act whenever they're looking for a new piece of equipment. A couple of other things to make it easy for people to contact you. Make it easy for people to click and get directions to your store. On Kubota digital websites, this is one of the top things that we see people do. They're clicking to get directions to a store. They can click this button here and it will open up in whatever their phone's native maps program is, whether that's Google Maps, Apple Maps, something like that. They can get in there and easily find their way to your dealership. You want to have a click to call button. It's so difficult if you don't have a click to call button to kind of if you can't copy and paste it, or you're just trying to kind of fumble around on the website to get all of that phone number copied and pasted over to, or you're trying to write it down and then go to the phone on your the phone app on your phone to type it in. So just make a click to call that people just punch the button, it brings up their phone ready to call you, good to go. And then other relevant contact information, like what are your business hours? If you have a lot of government contracts that require a lot of faxing of documents, what's that fax number? Just make it easy for people to find you, not just for one location, but for all locations if you have more than one roof. Offers and incentives. This is an incredibly thing to keep up to date. These change constantly. As you know, Kubota rolled out some new offers and incentives this past Monday, and they're going to roll out more next Monday, or on Sunday, actually. And so one of the top visited pages on our sites are the special offers. And so they need to have key real estate on your homepage and be very prominent so people can find those right away. It's also a really great idea to include these offers on the product pages themselves. And you'll know that if you have a website with us in the Kubota Digital program, we take care of all of this for you. But if you're not currently in our program, this is definitely something you want to make sure you're taking care of. You also don't want to have out-of-date offers on there. So when people go to your site and they see that an offer expired, last December, that kind of ends their journey. They're going to start looking elsewhere because they want to look for a current offer, and obviously those aren't current. So it's very important to keep those up to date on your site. Some examples we have on our current pages for the Kubota Digital program. We've got a nice big banner here that has an image, and it displays the most current offers in a carousel that people can swipe through and see whatever it is on their particular type of equipment they're looking for that's on sale. We've also got another banner that you see at the bottom here that highlights specific pieces of equipment that dealers want to feature. So you might have all of your current offers, then you might have a lot of construction equipment you're trying to move as well. You can add that here. So we've got a few different places on the homepage right when people land there to show them those current offers. Also, make sure that your disclaimers and your specials page match what's on Kubota USA. So a disclaimer is very important. If you're doing any sort of digital advertising, or any advertising for that matter, then a disclaimer is 100% necessary to meet all the legal requirements. So make sure those are up to date. So number 3, homepage real estate. So it's homepage. It can be it's obviously the most visited page on everyone's website, but you don't want it to be so cluttered up with things that it makes it hard to find something actionable to do on the homepage. So putting your location information there is key, because first of all, if someone's just coming to your site to look for your phone number, they need to find that immediately to call you. That's going to convert them to the lead the fastest. It's your dealership's online first impression. So it doesn't have to be this wholly separate thing that just sits there while you make these great updates and update your point of purchase things at your brick and mortar location. A lot of folks, they're going to check out your website before they check out that brick and mortar store. So make sure everything is up to date. There's really crisp, great looking photos or video of your location there. There's ways to get directions and call you and contact you, whether that's through forms or otherwise. Make sure that it's really easy for people to find what they need on that homepage, and don't clutter up with too many different things. Calls to action obviously are very important to accomplish that, but there's more than one way to handle these calls to action. So we've got a few different ways here. These are all representative of the Kubota Digital website program. We've got buttons over the image here with a search bar. We've got one panel here that's got a button and these 3 sub-panels that are all clickable to a link on the site. And then we've got our promotional banner that scrolls down here that people can learn more about each one of those individual incentives. Adding inventory is also very important. So used equipment or new equipment pages are the second most visited page we see on each of our dealers' websites. So if you're adding that actual equipment that's in stock, make sure you have between 7 to 10 photos for each one of those, that they're nice and clean and have a really good shot of the equipment. Make sure that you're descriptive and you tell what kind of shape that equipment's in, if there's been any aftermarket modifications, the number of hours it has on it. Price is great, but if you don't want to list the price on your website, make sure you have an easy method for people to call for price, and then make sure they have an easy way of requesting a quote from you on that equipment. And then lastly, make it easy to convert a visitor from your site into a lead. On Kubota Digital sites, we see a lead rate of 8%. So 8% of people, or 8 out of every 100 visitors, either click for directions to the store, they click to call on the mobile site, or they fill out a form on the dealer's website to learn more information about a specific machine. Make it as easy for people to do this as possible. Every product page you have on the site should have at least 2 of those methods, a click to call or a click to email, click to form. Make it, like as I mentioned before, make it easy for them to find you, literally find you with a click for directions so that they can get to your store to see that equipment. So once again, just to kind of summarize here, you want to stick to that mobile first design, have up-to-date offers and incentives, make sure your homepage real estate is informative and easy to navigate. Be sure that you're adding inventory that includes images, descriptions, hours, calls, and either a call for price or the actual price. And then make it easy for people to convert into a lead. Move them through that funnel. So your next steps, take a look at your website. And again, I'll mention that if you're in the Kubota digital website program with TracTru, a lot of this is taken care of for you. But just take a look at your site. Make sure that the navigation is responsive on mobile devices, that it includes a search bar right there at the top, has calls to action. It lists the latest incentives above the fold, and has a click for directions, click to call, and easy to find contact information such as business hours. For offers and incentives, do you have a specials page with correct offers and incentives? Are they up to date? Make sure that all of that is taken care of. I would check this at least once a month to make sure that your offers are the most up to date they can be. For homepage real estate, does Kubota have presence on your homepage equal to or greater than your other brands? You want to make sure it's easy to find things on your homepage, but you also want to make sure it's easy to know you're a Kubota dealer when someone lands on that homepage. For adding equipment, are you adding it to your site, and does it include images and descriptions? We talked about this. It's really easy to do this either manually or through a feed with your dealer business system. So just make sure that you're including those images and that you're being as descriptive as possible so people can do that research before contacting you. And then make sure it's easy to convert people to a lead once they land there. That's going to include a click to call, a click for directions. Make sure your forms are in all of those areas we mentioned so that it's as easy as possible to convert those folks. Thanks so much for watching this seminar on the Kubota branding guidelines for websites. If you have any questions on anything about branding guidelines, you can call us at 501-553-9500, or you can email us at sales@tractru.com. Thanks so much.